In terms of the process, you go in for the in-person appointment. You know, you make the appointment once it's approved. They'll give you an appointment time. They'll go, hey, come in, you know, on Monday at 8:25 a.m. Show up 5 minutes beforehand, and yeah, you just kind of go from there. Just in terms of what to expect, when you first show up, the ref is gonna go take a look at your car. The ref looked through, you know, just generally went over my engine bay, looked inside the car. You know, he made a couple comments about, hey, it's a pretty clean build or whatnot. I don't know if they just say that all the time. It was just really neat to see that the refs really do like their jobs. You know, at least, you know, maybe these engine swaps are fun. Maybe the usual, let me find out if this cat is good or bad, is not as fun. But anyways, they look over the car. But, you know, just want to give you guys a reminder, a lot of times when you're doing this swap, if your car's not legal, you're gonna have to get it insured, and you're gonna have to go get a temporary moving permit to move the vehicle from, you know, point A to point B. And, you know, you can do that through AAA where the line's really short, but you may actually have to go to the DMV where the line's a little bit longer. You're allowed, I think, 3 moving permits, and they give it to you for a span of 60 days, I believe. So make sure you fill out your permits before you go to the ref station. Make sure you guys have plenty of coolant or water. I use water, gasoline, and oil. So, you know, one of the first things that my ref did was he checked the oil, which is actually really smart, because if the car's low on oil and they blow it up or something, I don't know, it's just kind of a good thing for them to do. And well, after the general overview, they then move on to taking your car into the engine bay. You're not allowed to be in the engine bay, or I'm saying engine bay, car bay, during the time of the smog. But you're allowed to wait outside, and I was able to wait outside. And the first thing that he did was he plugged in to my OBD2 port, and he was pulling data. I don't exactly know what he was pulling exactly, but he did that, and he also did a 2500 RPM test. And I guess that data is sent up to the bar, and they start analyzing it before the test even begins. I know that he dug into the ECU. My ECU is located under there. He pulled the ECU number and had initially pulled the wrong ECU number. So he, you know, came out and said, hey, your ECU is actually not for your car. And I asked him, really? It's like, you know, he had said that it was an A04. I told him, no, I think you looked at the number wrong. It's actually an A02. He double checked it, confirmed it was an A02, which is a 2002 Honda S2000 ECU. And yeah, it, you know, I had the documentation as well. Like, he didn't really look at it to show that the ECU was appropriate for the make and model that I was testing for, which is a 2002 Honda S2000. The other thing he also did was he verified to see if I had anything, any aftermarket parts. So aftermarket in terms of, for example, the intake that I had is a carb legal Canon intake. I don't remember the number, but he did specifically look it up. He did look at the sticker, and he did confirm it on the Air Resource Board site, and I can probably provide the site a little bit later. After doing that, I mean, he didn't seem to care too much that I had put a heat shield up to keep the heat away from the intake, because it's on the exhaust manifold side. Let me think, what else is there? Oh, one thing though, yeah, definitely, I know I'd mentioned earlier, but make sure your car has gas. My car was idling for a good long time in the bay, and just make sure your fan works. I mean, I had a, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll show this video right here. So the AE86 is currently at the bar rest station. He had to verify a lot of the information, looked over the ECU number. He ran a 2500 RPM test, and then he already looked under the hood a little bit and just looked to see if it was clean or not. So it's clean so far. He actually did say that it's good that the evap stuff in the back is exposed,
because they're gonna have to start testing that at some point. I don't think they have to do that now. He said that I don't have to pop the gas tank. I was kind of worried that the car would be overheating, but it sounds like a fan is going off under there, and I'm hoping that it is. Yep.
So during the test, they're gonna do a 15 mile per hour and a 25 mile per hour load test on the dynamometer. Yeah, go for it. I think it might be low on tranny oil.
I'm gonna lift if you want.
So I know there's a leak. I haven't figured out where. So I mean, I've only had it for a week.
Right. Yeah, you're only picking it up.
Yeah. No real rush on it. But. And that's just a typical test that you would get, you know, if you went to any smog shop. With the difference here being that it's just done at the ref station, right? Mine passed pretty easily. You could tell because it ran through the test pretty quickly, and then afterwards they have to do the usual evap test where they pinch off one of the vacuum lines in the back. I'll show you guys a picture there too, and they have to pressure test the gas tank, and they test your gas cap as well. So just be aware that the the ref had actually made a comment that it was good that I put my evap in a very easily accessible place, because it's going to be one of those things where they're going to be, you know, using it when they're doing the test. So, you know, initially I thought that because I was going OBD2, that all they would have to go do after, you know, moving forward would be to just do the OBD2 test and I'd be done. But apparently it's based on the make and model year of the chassis. So in this case, it's a 1985 Toyota Corolla. Since the car is so old, in the system it requires it to run the dyno, which means that going forward I still have to run this car on a dyno, which is kind of a bummer. It would have made it a lot easier had I not had to do that. After you do the entire test and you pass, he goes in and he prints up your bar label. And that's kind of, it's super satisfying. He punches in all the information of what needs to go in, and before you know it, your bar sticker is printed out, and he slaps the label wherever. I think he wanted to put on the door jamb, but he couldn't put on the door jamb because I guess there wasn't enough room, so he slapped mine into the engine bay. And that is pretty much the entire process. I'm gonna see if I can, if I have anything else to add, I'll go ahead and do that. Driving this car again. It's been a really long time, but it's cool that it's legal. Just gotta make sure I don't get in trouble with it. It's definitely not a quiet car. Should probably turn my headlights on. Hard not to lay into it.